So, South African cricket fans react to Tristan Stubbs' debut for the Mumbai Indians. Oh Lord, I was hoping and backed this day, and I was waiting for this day to come and waiting for this moment to come. And we were all excited as fans. I think everybody was chatting about it before the game started, coming live, talking about it. So yeah, what we're gonna do on today's show is react to this particular game, talk about it, speak about Tristan a little bit, and also about some other news stories that has happened in cricket around the world. Now, there hasn't really been too much things that has happened in South African cricket, but there are some things that we can chat about. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. What I want to do is discuss everything. I don't think I won't count this as a jinx, guys, but let's move forward. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. If you're new, click that notification bell for all future videos. And don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, get involved with the Patreon account. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, get involved with Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates too. That's where we update you on news stories and everything that's happening in South African cricket. We do a lot of exclusive interviews as well and some awesome features. So go ahead and go follow us on cricketfanaticsmag.com as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Let's discuss this, guys. Not bittersweet at the moment, bittersweet. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, there is quite a bit that we need to discuss on today's show. Obviously, there is some things that happen in South African cricket that I want to maybe just a little bit talk about. But as you can see, what the show is about. The show is about Tristan Stubbs' debut for Mumbai Indians. Now, obviously, when I was setting up the stream and thinking about a topic to talk about tonight, I changed a couple of times. I ran through it a couple of times until I got the news that Tristan Stubbs was going to make his debut for the Mumbai Indians. Now, me personally, I was hoping that that the Mumbai Indians would bat first, that we would see the Mumbai Indians go out there and I would be able to get enough time to watch Tristan Stubbs bat. But as the game went along, things started falling apart for at first CSK, and then afterwards we saw things fall apart for Mumbai Indians as well. So I'm gonna bring Aditya on to help me make sense of it all. Welcome to the show, Aditya. But first and foremost, we need to just stop this and a second. I'm sad. Yes, I'm sad about that it didn't go the way I would have hoped. I mean, you can see how excited I was. I mean, I even made the daily show about it today when I heard the news. So I really hoped that he would get something on the board. You know, if it was over 20, 30, even a 30 or 40, I would have been happy, you know. And when he came in, I thought this was probably going to be the chance, you know. At first, I was a bit worried. I was worried because of how many wickets fell. And also Tristan Stubbs coming in a little higher than you could say, perhaps, than he's used to. He came in at number 5 for the Mumbai Indians. And generally speaking, I would hope that he'd come in lower as a finisher, you know, number 6 and 7, maybe even 7, as far as 7 in some cases. I know that they've got enough players in their team that can bat and bowl too. But for me, I would have maybe put him into that Tim David type of like role, I would say, because I think that's what Tim has been doing for Mumbai Indians recently. And I was hoping that Tristan would come in a little later. But when I saw him come in the middle, I said, oh, ample opportunity, enough time for you to go out in the middle, settle yourself, try to get yourself off the strike, etc. It was just his first match. The ball swung. There was some movement. You saw the first delivery that he faced. He already went like this to the opposition batter. He was like, there's a little bit of swing over here and movement. And then he got trapped LBW. I thought he should have went upstairs because from my angle that I was watching it, it looked like it could possibly be moving a little bit to the right. But I mean, unfortunately, that was the situation, and Tristan Stubbs lost his wicket. But what's going on this particular wicket? Can you give us some insight into this particular wicket, Aditya? Because I mean, wow, I was shocked messaging you and saying, "What's going on with CSK?" Because I mean, they only managed to score 97 runs, and now Mumbai Indians are, as we speak at this particular time, they are also struggling as well. But obviously, a lot more further and closer to the target. So. It's not like Mumbai Indians are in the same situation as CSK, but what happened in this particular match?
Well, first off, Tristan shouldn't be worried about his duck. Virat's got three.
Yeah, you shouldn't worry.
Yeah, so it's all right. Look, I think this wicket is it requires a little bit of discipline because it's not it's not bad for batting. I mean, MS Dhoni showed us that you can bat on this wicket if you're sensible, and unfortunately, that can't be said for the majority of batters from both teams because technically both teams were about 30 for 4 by the end of the power play. So, and both teams have also sort of struggled to put in consistent performances. But this IPL, more than any other, I think, has challenged the discipline of batters. Where you cannot just come out and swing. So that's and somewhere I feel like over the last couple of years we've been discussing it on the show as well that the approach for a lot of teams has been modeled on what England does. That is ball one to ball 120, you just got to smack it. But
Mhm.
this is a good reminder of the fact that bowlers exist as well, and they're not bowling machines. So
Yeah.
you know there will be times when pitches will challenge
Mhm.
batters, and they're going to have to curb their attacking instincts to respect conditions initially, and and then kick on when they get a better understanding of it. So to me, that's my assessment of today's game. But in addition to that, obviously a couple of poor decisions for Chennai, and some bad luck there as well. Assuming they weren't 30 for 4, they were 30 for 2 by the end of the power play, I think it would have been a different story.
Mhm. And I almost chickened out actually. In fact, I did almost chicken out. I messaged Aditya to tell him maybe we should change the show tonight, seeing that this happened. But this is perfect actually because it shows what we as fans should, how we should maybe behave, or maybe an example of how we should behave when our players don't necessarily hit the ground running as we'd hoped. Not everybody's going to have a debut like Deva Brevis or have a debut like certain other debutants that come out there. So it was a difficult situation for Tristan coming into a different situation with everybody almost around him, ahead of him, failed too, and others on CSK's side. We must be patient. It's his first game. It was a tough situation. Yes, it was maybe not a good shot that he played and maybe misread the movement of the ball, trapped LBW. But at least he's now gotten a little bit of a taste of, I would say, the standard of Mumbai of IPL cricket now. You would see, but to an extent though, it's not the best of games to have not the best of examples to start your debut really because you're sitting on the other end, you're watching a team being bowled out for like 90 odd. I mean, obviously it's not the best example. But we have seen, and you're right about bowlers, because we've seen quite a bit of lower scoring games or low totals in this IPL than I think we used to. I don't know if that's just me feeling that way about it,
But
but
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that's the case.
mhm,
See, there are 76 league matches, right? And they're played across 4 venues. The
yeah, that's
MCA in
what
Pune,
I was gonna think that might have been the case. Yeah, the
DY
venue.
Patil, the Wankhede, and the Brabant Stadium.
Mhm,
Okay, 76 games across 4 venues, and we're talking about a heat wave in this part of the country. So it's very difficult to it's very difficult to preserve pitches for that long. As a result of which, the groundsman decided that they're going to have to have as much grass on those pitches as they possibly can,
Mm.
because that's the only way that they're going to be able to preserve these pitches for
Mm.
2 months. And
Okay.
that is why, right from the beginning, we've seen a lot of games where in the first 6 overs, batters are simply not able to score those runs.
Mm.
I mean, I think if you remember that first game between RCB and Punjab Kings,
I'm
where
actually going to
Faf
share
was
that
batting
with you right now. I just want to share this while you're talking, Aditya.
yeah,
Yeah, just share
like
this with
Faf
you
was
while you.
batting on 1 of 10 balls. He
Mhm.
simply could not get going, and it has been difficult for the openers. That's why in the first part of the tournament, look, Josh Butler is having an exceptional tournament. So somewhere you
Yeah.
have to count him out, because you look at the difference between the top scorer, that's Josh Butler, and the second, that's KR Rahul. That's There's a 200 run difference between the two of them. So that tells you
Hmm.
that one batter is just having an exceptional season.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can take that into consideration. But
Hmm.
look, that's the thing, right? That you players simply have to respect conditions early on, and so that's been the case in this season of the IPL. Perhaps next year, if the IPL gets back to its original format, where each team
Hmm.
plays home and away, then we might have a different tournament. We'd have a lot more games that that are 200 run plus.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing possibly the most seamer friendly IPL that
That
we
there's
have
been
seen.
in a while. Yeah. I'm gonna just go through some of this for you guys so you can have a look at that how it's been yo-yoing exactly, because it has been quite a yo-yo affair
Yeah.
when it comes to certain grounds. So like you can see here one Kede, 131, 133 in this particular match. Now you don't know what the second team could have scored, but the first team scored 131. Over here um, you'll see over here in the next match in a different venue, of course. Um, Barbon, is that how you pronounce it? Um,
Brabon, yeah,
Brabon. Okay,
yeah.
so over here you'll see a good 170, which is decent. Then you see 200 at
DY Patil.
Patel. Yeah,
DY Patil.
Diva Patel. Okay, and then we've got 158 at 1K again. So it's like you could say 20 runs off.
But
And then
sorry,
you'll
I just want
see.
to I just want to point out to one other thing there. If you can go back down,
Mhm.
you look at that game between the second game between Mumbai and Delhi
Yeah,
at the Brabon Stadium,
yes.
right? Mumbai scored 177, great score. The Capitals
Mm.
were able to chase it down. It seemed to
Yeah.
be a batting paradise. RCB was 68 all out on that same wicket.
That's why I was saying we probably were going to get there soon. So,
Yeah,
like, you can see how different it is. Like, here is Pune, 149, 210. Then you got, um, what did you say it again? Diva Patel.
DY Patil.
Okay, I can't pronounce it. I'll need some times to practice. Here's 128 again. There we've got Brabon, which we already saw earlier on 170s, and then 200s on that score. Then it drops again 1K. So it has been fluctuating. There has been quite a few different types of scores in this IPL so far, and there's been a hell of a lot of games played. So I think Aditya's assessment is pretty decent, because obviously if you're playing if there's so many games played and there's only three or four, was it three venues, four venues? Then
Four
obviously it's going
venues.
to be, yeah, four venues. Then obviously it will happen. You are going to see scores fluctuate, etc. So it is natural. I mean, look at this match that you were talking about, 68 from Royal Challenge Bangalore. Um, and yeah, as you can see, there has been a fluctuation of matches. We've seen some matches where it is from high scoring and some that is not. So
Yeah.
I think we made our point on that basically, and we understand the reasons why. So coming back to Tristan Stubbs again, I think we need to be patient. Um,
Yeah,
like Dick said over here, Tim David also failed in his first two matches. I don't think people
yeah.
should just run away with each player is different. Each player is individual. You have to look at each player individually. My only concern here, Aditya, is will they give him another chance? Because I think at Mumbai at the moment there are quite a few overseas players fighting for positions, particularly in the batting department in that middle order. We haven't seen Diego Brevis for a while. I mean, he could have easily been in this team instead of maybe Tristan Stubbs. Tristan Stubbs now got his opportunity. He went out on a duck in his first time. I think it will be very harsh if they don't give him another go. We all want to see him again and
The thing
see
is,
him hit a
there are a
couple of
couple of
balls out of the
things.
ground.
A couple of things with Tristan. I don't know if he had a practice session even,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he was basically in quarantine. You have to be in quarantine for 3 days before you come out of your room. So my
But he
guess is
did
that
have
he's
that.
basically. Hmm?
He had some game time at least, but not in those conditions. And maybe he needed some time, maybe batting in the Indian heat currently, and what the current situation is.
My question is whether he had a net session before he got to this game, because he's been in quarantine for 3 days, and my guess is that he's coming straight to this game. He's completely undercooked, which which is understandable. Ever since Mumbai was out of the reckoning for the playoffs, what they're doing is they're preparing for next year. So that's why Tim David got a couple of opportunities. He did well. They were Brevis, of course. They know that he's got serious talent, and they I'm sure they're working on him. Daniel Sams, Riley Meredith. So now for Mumbai, it's all about preparing for next year. Getting those combinations right, because there's no real point in dragging out that season and living in misery. So I'm pretty sure that the planning process has started. Uh, but yeah, I don't think Tristan Stubbs should be too worried. Mumbai is um, quite a reasonable franchise in that sense, and Rohit Sharma is quite a relaxed character. He's going to give players opportunities and long enough rope to be able to establish
Yeah,
themselves. So yeah, no
yeah.
reason to worry there.
I guess from my side, I just want to call for fans to be a little patient with certain players. I mean, I did see quite a few tweets flying around from maybe not accounts that are maybe credible, but saying, "Oh, the hype was not real." And I'm like, no, no, no. I mean, you can't judge one player. I wish I could find that tweet because I tried to look for it again. So I put my phone down for a couple of seconds, went back, and it was gone. So I was like, "Flip, where is it?" And I tried to find it, and I couldn't find it again. But like, it takes time for these players to come to a new environment. Like you said, how much preparation did he have? This um, there's not much to analyze about this. I think all I wanted to really say is that we need to just be patient with Tristan, and that I hope he gets another game. I hope he gets another chance to prove himself. That's it.
It was the most beautiful, good-looking, technically correct duck that we've ever seen.
Wow. The speed of the bat and what the angle he did to miss the ball and for it to knock off his pads. I mean, we won't see something like that in anytime soon, eh, guys. I mean, that's a delivery. Actually, there's something that we can analyze there. That's a delivery that quite a few South African batters actually have fallen for. I've seen quite a few attacking batters actually from South Africa actually fall for that ball that's swinging in at their pads.
Early in the innings, specifically, because you look at the 68 all-out game, and you see the ball that got Faf from Marco Jansen. Totally unplayable. He got bowled, of course. He wasn't LBW, but
Yeah.
even if he was, even if the ball hit the pads, he would have been out. So, I think that's certainly but that's good, because it probably reflects some sort of change in mindset,
Mm,
um, that players have had to adapt.
yeah.
There's another great example. Uh, you look at the RCB versus Lucknow game, where RCB were put into bat and they were 7 for 2. I think they lost Anuj Rawat and Virat Kohli fairly early, and Maxwell as well. So I think, yeah, they were 7 for 2 and some like 25 or 30 for 3 or something like that.
Mm.
And Fafatu, he sort of calmed things down, and then he launched towards the end to score 96, and he took RCB to a good total. But you know that's certainly reflective of a change in approach, where you cannot go slam bang from ball one in this tournament. I think conditions, it was easier to bat in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, because you weren't challenged to that degree as you are here.
But I think it's way too premature to judge Tristan on this one innings.
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
there's going to be people that are going to do it, and really, I mean, I see Justin saying in the comments over here, Deva Brevis should get a call up ahead of him. He thinks he's better. Stubbs is not ready for international. I don't think that is enough for you to be able to say that from just one IPL game. The way Tristan Stubbs has played domestic cricket and taken to domestic cricket like a duck to water, he's smacking men around with ease. I'm sure that it'll come right at Mumbai Indians. He just needs that little bit of He would have probably had a lot of input from the coaching staff around him to say where he went wrong with that. Maybe it was the incorrect shot that he chose to play at that particular moment. Um, and also the bowler was on fire. It was a very good delivery too. But let's move on from Tristan right now. I think we gave him enough. I just want to say to Tristan, because I know sometimes he will watch our videos. He is a friend of the channel. So brush it off, bro. Get up, move on, go to the next game, and show us what you're capable of. Play with your natural game, play with confidence, and just assess the situation and the conditions. It's very important that that happens. That the conditions are being looked at, and you alter your game slightly. We've seen you alter your game before, so go ahead and just be yourself and trust your instinct. Let's talk about some of the other South Africans that have impressed over recent times as well. I think KG is coming to the fold. It's so great to see him come into the wickets. Um, he's now third on the charts when it comes to wickets. He's actually the first on the seamers charts at the moment. It's all spinners above him, De Silva and Chahal above him, and then below him Kuldeep Yadav. So he's doing very well to have taken 18 wickets in 10 matches so far in this tournament. I mean, a best for four for 33. He's really starting to find his rhythm, which I was hoping for. And I said this on so many shows before. I said, well, guys, I saw a lot of people actually calling for KG and saying he should be dropped from the national side. And he shouldn't play T20 cricket. He's not a T20 player. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't be saying that so like right now just because he's having a dip of form. Rabada has been one of the IPL's best bowlers for quite some time now. He's always up and above there in with regards to the purple cap for them. Purple is the purple cap for the yeah. I can't remember which colors is which. So the purple cap he's gotten quite a few times. He was building an amazing partnership with Anrich Nokia when he was at the Delhi Capitals before. Now he's moved. Now he has to find new people to team up with and learn how to bowl with them too. You remember that bowling is also about having partnerships and building partnerships with guys that suit you. So you normally will trust that the draft would have been taken care of and that they've picked players that they think can work together. Now, KG's been excellent. I think he's come to the fold and he's done really well. And I think he needs to get his props because I'm happy that he's getting into the swing of things. It's very good that we're getting him, that we're getting this type of KG that is striking the way he is. And I hope that he keeps it up. And that he finds a way out to get out of the slump that he was, because from an international perspective, he was in a little bit of a slump when it comes to the white ball arena, not necessarily bowling at the level that we see in the IPL. But for the last year or so, he struggled a bit, and I'm happy to see that he's come back into things. Aditya, what do you think is the reason for that? Do you think it's just bowling himself out of it, just pushing through the difficult time, or do you think there has been some input from his coaches at at his franchise, the Punjab Kings?
I think it's volume. Generally with him, we've seen that over a period of time he becomes better, and that's probably been key to his success here. Because um, it's a new franchise for him. He's been very successful with Delhi. He knows that management. This is a new management, new tactics, and um, also he's come in mid tournament. I think somewhere that makes a difference, because that's when you've sort of established what the do's and don'ts are, for this tournament almost. And I think he's figured that out with time. Um, I had the privilege of watching him live, and he was bowling some serious rockets. Okay, he was quick, uh, but at the time he wasn't getting wickets, and it was unbelievable. He was bowling to David Warner that day that I watched him, and he got absolutely smacked. But that's credit to his character. That the very next game, I think he came back and he was among the wickets.
That is probably the biggest thing that I appreciate with
Yeah.
regards to KG is how he faces adversity and how he overcomes it. Whenever he's
Also,
in,
he's he had, like, for the last couple of seasons, he's been playing for a very successful team.
mm,
This year, he's playing for a rather inconsistent team. So for him to be one of the top performers in an inconsistent team, he's basically carrying them,
yeah.
to a very large degree. And
And that lost one of the most important players. I mean, the captain.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like, it's not like they just lost anybody. I mean, KL has been ridiculous for them in the past, and I mean, I've watched so many great. It's the only reason really I watched Kings was KL Rahul really, and Pretty Zinta, but we let's not talk about that one. But so we look at South African bowlers. It's only really KG that really stands out over here, you would say. Although Dwayne Pretorius has shown some, I think, some interesting performances. I don't think maybe they utilize him enough. Andrich Nokia only playing 4 games, taking 6 wickets. So Dwayne Pretorius 6 games, 6 wickets. So for Dwayne Pretorius, I don't necessarily expect him to be right above on the wicket tally necessarily. I'm more looking at Dwayne Pretorius as a guy that just throttles the opposition really and keeps them from scoring, especially in that middle overs and at the death. That's what I see for Dwayne Pretorius moving forward. But I mean, obviously, he's competing with one of the guys that he's obviously looked at as one of his heroes. He said, like Dwayne Bravo is a phenomenal player as well. That I feel that you can play both in the team, but the chances are, maybe not always. But I mean, yeah, I think Dwayne has been okay. And not necessarily anything to write home about, but otherwise, I think from a bowling perspective, the person that stands out to me is KG, 100%. And especially in recent times, he's come to the fold. Batting department, we obviously know Faf has been excellent, consistently excellent. I mean, 389 runs already this season. Um, three half centuries so far. Could have been better. Maybe some people might say. People might not be 100% happy with Faf, but I think we've seen. I think I've been impressed with Faf because of the switch and taking responsibility as a captain as well of a franchise that has a lot of pressure on him. So I've been impressed with Faf as well and the way he's conducted himself, especially also what was said about him by Virat Kohli, which I'll read out after um, Aditya, as you say.
we have to take into consideration, one is that the wickets have been more challenging for openers this season. You just like you can't take that out of the equation, because if you look at the difference between Faf, who's probably fifth on the list of highest run scorers, and KL Rahul, who's second,
Mm,
it's just about 60 odd runs. So
no.
that's not a lot.
Mm,
So he's not that far behind. And secondly, there is additional pressure in him, compared to last year with Chennai, where his opening partner Raj Gaikwad was in good form, Moin Ali was in good form, Robin Uthappa was in good form. So that entire batting lineup was firing, whereas Faf is basically carrying that top order.
yeah,
Maxwell has fired once, Virat has fired once or twice. That's about it.
yeah.
So
So
he's
let me.
carrying that,
Uh,
and he is RCB's highest run scorer. You know, 389 runs is quite a lot. So I think he's done well. Like it's difficult to say that he hasn't done well. Um, but yeah, I think we should continue because then we should talk about Aiden Markham for sure.
Yeah, of course. So before we get to Aiden, there was a little bit of some quotes that were said on RCB Insider. So Virat had to say, Faf du Plessis and I have always gotten along well, even when he was captain of South Africa. Faf is a guy who is sure of himself and he has a full authority on the field. He tells me sometimes if I mention things that he doesn't want to do that, which I respect a lot. That is exactly how I know Faf. That only makes you gain respect for the person you are playing under. I'm not going to do that. He also went on to drop a little bit of a gem, you would say, that some people would get excited about. He spoke about AB because you can't speak about Faf du Plessis and not mention AB in the same sentence. I miss him a lot. That's what Virat said. I talk to him regularly. He was in the US recently with his family watching golf. He is keenly observing RCB and hopefully he will be here next year in some capacity, hinting at maybe a possible coaching role for AB at RCB. What's your thoughts on those quotes, Aditya? Virat Kohli obviously speaking quite boldly about Faf and giving us an insight into how things have been run and who's in charge there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, one thing is that Virat Kohli has obviously been looking to relieve himself of responsibility of captaincy, and he looks quite free in that regard. Whereas Faf, we know, is the planner. He likes information, and that combination of Faf, Mike Hessen, and Sanjay Bangal, and Adam Griffith, of course. That's like a dream team, because I think it's exactly the sort of thing that he likes, and I get the feeling that he has that authority to be able to sort of control the environment, which I think is great. Um, with respect, and we also can't forget that Virat said that Faf is a very good-looking man, which is interesting.
Everybody says that. That's like a
It's
thing that,
hilarious.
that people have just accepted.
It's hilarious. The guy was interviewing him. He's like, when I look at him in the morning, like hi, and I go weak in the knees. He's so hot. It was hilarious.
You have to be very comfortable with your sexuality to make a statement like that.
Yes, yeah. You should watch that show, bro. It was funny. It was really funny.
I
And
didn't watch
because
the whole one. I just saw some of the quotes.
yes, you should watch it because Virat was laughing at his own form. The interviewer was like, "Do you like pets?" So Virat was like, "Yes, I do, but I don't have any." So then he said, "Oh, but on TV, everyone saw that you got two ducks." So Virat started laughing at that, which I thought was great.
Now,
That's
Virat's a
exactly.
from my experience with Virat, I mean, I've only ever met him once, and it was I mean, met him once. I mean, I've been in press conferences, obviously with him
Yeah.
there and stuff. But Virat has always come across to me as such a great guy and such a wonderful personality,
Bro,
in
when
my opinion.
when Virat gets out on zero and he then comes out during the fielding innings, he walks out to the field like he scored 100. So the guy's got some serious swag,
Yeah,
which is
confidence,
unbelievable.
confidence is through
But
the roof. That guy,
yeah,
self belief, I would rather say.
with respect to AB, obviously AB has a great relationship with the franchise, and
Yeah.
he is close friends with Faf, close friends with Virat. Um, he will come back in some capacity when I suppose he's ready, and probably when players don't need to be in bubbles anymore. Because that probably might have gotten to him previously
Hmm.
in the last two seasons. So I think this time around, if he gets involved in the IPL again, he'd like to be out of that entire biosecurity environment. Uh, but yeah, I think he will be back with RCB. There's no question about it.
We've spoken about Aiden. I'm gonna hold on to the Aiden talk because I'm till his next game, and then we see how he performs, and it will maybe also allow us to little talk a bit about Aiden. I just want to mention a quick shout out to our buddy over here, part of his, he's also kind of, you would say, he helps us out a lot at Cricket Fanatics magazine as well. But Tian Kukumur making history. Obviously, it didn't happen. It happened quite a few days ago, but making history, but taking um, a 10-wicket haul for Tickle. Apparently, this is what all bowlers obviously um, hope for. Um, it's the first time that a tenfer has been achieved in Yorkshire League since it was split into North and South divisions in 2016. Six of his victims were bowled, three caught, and one LBW. And Kukamura's figures were 14.4 to 5, 38 to 10. Like an excellent performance from him. Um, well done to Tian for doing that. We're all immensely proud of you. Keep it up. Hopefully, you'll get a Division One team. We haven't spoken about what you're going to be doing next season, and we might be getting him on the show as well sometime to come and have a chat with us. But guys, I'd like to wrap this up. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming on the show. Aditya, thanks a lot for coming on as well. We'll be doing our Q&A tomorrow. We might be doing our Q&A a little bit earlier tomorrow. There's something that I have been invited to. It's a very close friend of mine is getting married this weekend. So he's having something on Friday evening. So tomorrow evening. So I might have to do my show like an hour earlier. So at 6 o'clock, the Q&A session with you guys. Um, and yeah, so I hope you guys will join in and still be here for the Q&A and ask us loads of questions. We'll put out the Q&A on Instagram a little earlier so you guys can get involved in asking us questions so that we have a show to do. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. If issues 100% free straight to your inbox every single month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Smash the like button, comment, and share. Also, become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with our Q&A fan session of our daily show. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.